Peace to the Voices Radio listening audience. It's time for Humanity 3.0. This show is sponsored by Prometheus Reborn Universal Foundation, whose goal is to uplift mankind to the next stage of development. The show is sponsored, as I said, by Proof, and it includes comedy, culture, science, spoken word, usually self-performed and produced through a genre called edutainment. Yes, educating while entertaining. The hosts of this wonderful, remarkable show are Dr. Kwaku Carlisle Woods, RN, MD, MET-D1, creator of the Trivalent Understanding Noetics, and myself, Dr. Essie Hamida, Rockman Woods, MED, PhD, MET-D2, sharing my Kemetan Baset spirit. Yes, I have the PH, and he has the M. We both have D's. That makes us
Doc squared.
Today's title is For the Love of God.
For the love of God. Yes, it is. Okay, everybody. How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing good. I hope you had a happy Easter.
Yeah.
The Hip Hop Trio is doing Afro-Pian music now, and we are killing it. Lord bless us to rehearse after the show today and continue to advance. We have an August gig for the postmasters and managers of the United States Postal Service. We're going to be performing for them. Where's in the
Kalahari.
At Kalahari, the resort. So we're going to be doing a number for them.
Yes.
Quick thing on COVID. Fourth surge. The fourth surge we're getting. It won't be as high or as deep as the prior three surges, and we'll probably have less deaths. Immunizations are about 25% of the population of the country, and we'll get to about 85% in approximately 45 days. So that leads us to the mid to end of May. We should have 85% of the United States immunized. By June at the latest, COVID pandemic ends. It ends in August. We're going to get our 85% by June at the latest, but the pandemic for our country should be ended by August. Now, I wish you a very happy Easter. Our Easter weekend was tremendous. And that's basically because we were working like Hebrew slaves. More about this later. But we worked all weekend, Easter weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We worked, and that's what this whole show is going to be about, our Easter weekend employment. First, before I go into that in any great depth, I have to mention Liba! What's up, Lee?
Hi, Liba.
I think her last name is Sinkowitz. I could be incorrect at that. But Liba and Yakov Kushner? What's up, Yakov?
Hi.
Yeah, what's up? Liebs, you know me and you. There it is. These are two 10-year-olds that we spent Saturday and Sunday with in Aurora. I really like them both, especially Liebs, who followed me all day Saturday and most of Sunday until her father pulled her away for lunch. What we were doing, I don't even know how you would describe what we were doing. We were edutaining to some degree, even though we had restrictions like we've never had before. But that is because we were being employed by a group of Hasidic jewelry. These are Jews. Hasidic Jews. They're also called Chasidism. This is a branch of the Haredi Judaism that arose as a spiritual revival in the western Ukraine. This is during the 18th century, and it spread rapidly throughout Eastern Europe. Now, you have seen these Jews who wear the black coats, long coats, and got the little locks bound by their temple. They wear the white bands with the strings hanging down the side, and they got the big, huge hat.
Yeah, I live by them.
Yeah, you live by them? Okay, that's a good thing. Arabs lived by them. We worked for them this Easter weekend. And I loved it. I truly, truly loved it. I loved the children. Oh my God. I loved the parents. I loved the adults. I loved their leaders. We had some wonderful, wonderful conversations. More about that later. But these Hasidic Jews had a problem because they are Hasidic Jews, and this was one of their holidays. They can eat no wheat. They emphasize physical exertion over study, Talmud, and all that other stuff. They have a doctrine. The Hasidic Jews have a doctrine that basically means change nothing. They don't want to change their language, their food, their clothing, and every aspect of their lifestyle from about 350, 400 years ago. Their whole motto is, we're not going to change a thing. We're going to dress like we did. We're going to live like we did. We're going to act like we did 350 years ago. Now, that is not, as most people know, something that I'm into. I'm more into this branch or sect of Judaism called Jewish science. And it was created to counter Christian science in the early 20th century, formed by Alfred G. Moses and Morris Lichtenstein. They said that God is a force or energy that responds to affirmative prayer. Yeah, that sounds like the trivalent understanding noetics. One of our primary tools that I've already introduced you to is called the affirmations of the wounded soul. And that is the primary tool of the trivalent understanding noetics. The Society of Jewish Science in New York regularly published The Interpreter, the movement's primary literary publication. And that's kind of more down my alley, or up my street, or around my block, or however you want to say it. Mindy! That's the other person I have to shout out. Mindy! Mindy was the person who we contacted and contracted with to do this job. Okay, back to Easter weekend. They could not touch electronics, cars, money, or other people, mainly the females. And we were asked to edutain their children, about 30 to 40 children from 3 to 15, 16 years old. We had a time from 10 in the morning to 12 noon, and then from 2 in the afternoon to 4 p.m. We had a whole edutainment. Plan laid out for them. Oh, we had a weekend plan for the children with games, role-playing, superhero stuff, just to pop in. We brought in change of clothes and different superhero uniforms. We had Who Are You sheets that focused on the imagination. We were going to ask them to create themselves as a superhero. What powers would you have as a superhero? How did you get those powers? We had another game called the Face Game. Oh my God. We did get a chance to play that. But they didn't get a chance to do the superhero game because we were told no drawing, writing, singing, or even listening to songs, which kind of blew our plans right out of the water.
We still had the opportunity to be us.
Well, that was the blessing. Yes. And the opportunity that we had to be us was exactly what was necessary. Because throughout the whole weekend, we kept hearing from both Mindy and parent after parent after parent after parent after parent after parent after parent. My children love you. My children can't stop talking about you. My children are constantly Dr. Woods, Dr. Woods, the Woods, Dr. Woods, Dr. Square, Dr. Woods, the Woods, Dr. Woods, the Woods, Mrs. Dr. Woods, Mr. Dr. Woods, Dr. Woods, from everybody. And Mindy kept telling us, oh, y'all were so much better than we had any right to expect. Oh, whatever we had as expectation, y'all surpassed them. Y'all were just fantastic, magnificent, and wonderful, and we could not have imagined anybody as good as y'all coming here and doing this. I was told several times, you're overqualified for this. I know that. I know that. I'm overqualified for anything. But the deal of it is, I wasn't doing this for them or even for me. I was doing this because that's what the Most High told me to do. You see, about 10, 15, 20 years ago, I decided I was going to try to stop doing me so much, and I was going to try to do the Most High. That seemed to really give out the best results. And everything I have attempted using that formulation, I've had success. I must say, it's been all the best that I could possibly wish, hope, or dream for. But as I tell most people, when I am performing, when I am edutaining, that really ain't Larry Carlisle Woods up there. And that ain't who's talking. That's me trying to let my higher power use me and speak through me. So whenever you hear me talking stuff like that, that ain't me saying much. That's just the Lord calling. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, we got a song all about that. And Global Entertainment's going to present it to you. It's O.G. Shankster, me, and McKinley Tate III. It's called The Lord is Calling.
And the people cried out by reason of their affliction. And the Lord God said, I will send a messenger with my word of truth and light, that he that hath an ear, let him listen.
Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. How many children is down to follow me? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. How many children is down to follow me? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. How many children is down to follow me? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. How many children is down to follow me?
Hold your head up, get your hands high. Don't you know the Lord is calling? Hold your head up, get your hands high. Don't you know Babylon is falling? You can run now, but you can't hide. Don't you know the Lord is calling? Hold your hands up, get your hands high. Don't you know the Lord is calling?
There's lies and dirt roads and back streets, blood stains from lost souls and hot heat. River flows from mom tears, she's been torn. Breastfed all of her kids to the firstborn. 7 seas rooted the trees to my church, and strong winds carried the breeze to my earth. And Lord knows it's been hard, I can't see. Had to maintain and work hard on these streets. I heard the streets calling, so I had to lend a hand to the one that's falling. Let them know I understand that the Lord is calling. So just keep your faith, you're still in the race. The main thing is still in this race, so let's pray.
Hold your head up, get your hands high. Don't you know the Lord is calling? Hold your head up, get your hands high. Don't you know Babylon is falling? You can run now, but you can't hide. Don't you know the Lord is calling? Hold your hands up, get your hands high. Don't you know the Lord is calling?
Years of dirt, and years of hurt, it's a crying shame. Living that life of sin, just standing my name. In the eyes of the Lord, who showed me love, who helped me survive in this world, and blessed me with my first son. Somehow I took the wrong path, that I was Satan, and now I have no idea of what I'll be facing when it's time to re-up for what I did. Been doing the devil's bidding since I was a kid, and now I'm looking for a way out, because I'm finally realizing that killing my kind is played out. You had me hyped, you had me schooled, you had me thinking I was on top of the world, really I was just that fool. You had me turn my back on my master. You promised me everlasting, and for that you's a dirty bastard. The longer can you fill my mind with lies and deceit? Cause right now I'm at peace, it's time to release my soul.
Hold your head up, get your hands
these streets. Prepare your soul, cause the beast already been released. In full control, let me feast on like ghetto beats. The young and old, death is dead on the land we sleep. The world is cold, I hit my knees and begin to pray. And please, Lord, give me the strength to make it through the day. And have mercy on me, help me see the light. So I can one day too dwell in eternal life. And hold my hand, oh Lord, lead me through the storm. Cause hell been on my trail since my life was born. And we've been cursed since birth, back when you lost your son. And against all odds, let your will be done. Cause I believe in you.
Hold your head up, get your hands high. Don't you know the Lord is calling? Hold your head up, get your hands high. Don't you know Babylon is falling? You can run now, put your head high. Don't you know the Lord is calling? Hold your heads up, get your hands high. Don't you know the Lord is calling?
Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. How many children is down to follow me? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. How many children is down to follow me? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. How many children is down to follow me? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. How many children is down to follow me? Follow me.
All right. This is Humanity 3.0, preparing mankind for the next step of evolution for humanity.
Truly, 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 y'all. Okay, during that song, we had a rather general discussion on jewelry in Cleveland. And I got the 411 from our engineer, Ebony, on where all the Jews be. Okay. Okay, we're a bunch of them anyway. Okay, we were told no drawing, no writing, singing, or even listening to songs, which kind of blew our head out the water. But Mindy had boxes of Rubik's Cubes and about 5 to 7 chess sets, so we worked cubes. I am not even proficient on Rubik's Cubes. I don't know nothing about them. And played/taught chess. Liba was my first chess student and stated she hated chess before Saturday, but now she loves it. Jakob is a chess savant. He is. The boy is just good. And he should be playing chess tournaments all over the world.
Yes. He does online, he said.
Yes. And he beat me in 2 straight games before I got a draw in the 3rd game. He came back later and waxed me in the 4th match. Queen's Gambit talk was all over the place. We talked about the Netflix series and so forth and so on, and half the people there needed to be playing chess, if not professionally, at least on a much higher level. We did magic, tricks, and pleasantly surprised the adults with our affability and their children's attachment to us, which I think, though we heard about it with smiles and pleasure, I think after a while some parents got a kind of a little bit peed off. Yeah, they were feeling some sort of way. I did have a minor problem with the Yiddish that was tossed around. Now, you see, Yiddish is a unique language whose basis is German, mixed with Polish, Russian, Hebrew, and some English. But living in the Ville in St. Louis meant that the only people you saw regularly that was not Alkebulanese, what most folks would call black, were Jews. That's the only other people in our neighborhoods were Jews. So we heard Yiddish every day. The Fine family, Alex and David Fine, were almost like an extension of our family. And they kind of were. They operated this thing called Happy Day Market in St. Louis on Taylor, right off of Enright. So, we heard things like Mensch, Meshuggah, Verklempt, and especially Mogen David. Those were regular community idioms. I need to say something about Mogen David. The 6-pointed star that is the symbol of Judaism is called the Mogen David. Now, when I got, about 15 years old in St. Louis, I got really, really, really intimate with Mogen David. because I didn't like hard liquor, didn't like whiskey, rum, or any of the no vodka, nothing. The only thing that I drank that, I didn't even like beer. The only thing I drank was wine. I think Jesus was a wine. Hey, and the wine that almost everybody drank was a wine called MD 2020. Now everybody knew that MD in the MD 2020 stood for Mogan David. Yeah, it was a Jewish wine, and that's what I drank. That's what almost everybody drank. MD, some brand. Okay, so yeah, and our hosts' gender roles were very traditional, and gender are kept separate almost all the time. All Hasidic communities are very fraternal. Men and boys spend a significant amount of time in the synagogue together, often participating in feast gatherings with the Reb, their spiritual leader, which entails joyous singing and dancing. I told you about that physical thing that they're into. Physical modesty is, however, paramount, and bodies must be covered fully, and all clothing is formal. Now, Hasidic Jewish men are known for wearing long black coats and hats. Okay, this was because this was the fashion among nobility in Poland, Ukraine, etc. in the 18th and 19th century. The fur hat that is worn on Sabbath and holidays is called a stremel and can cost as much as $1,000 or more. Now, I want y'all, okay, baby. A guy came in with the big hat, the big fur hat, and the
Rabbi.
Yeah, with the coat and stuff. And I said, boy, you make me mad every time I see you in that, because I ain't wearing it. He started taking off his coat. And I jumped up and said, like, I ain't gonna put it on. And I jumped out there and grabbed his coat and put it on. He put his hat on me, and we went into the dining room and started performing for everybody that was in there.
Yeah.
And just to let,
Because on Sundays the men can sing.
yes. And just to let everybody know, that's what I look like. That's what I look like as a Hasidic Jew. Aha! Oh yeah. I had to do it.
It was a great time, you all.
It was a great time. I had
We
fun.
enjoyed ourselves. I did too.
Yes. And dressed up as a Hasidic Jew, I went into their dining hall, which was filled with about maybe 50, 60 folks. And me and him went singing up and down the middle aisle. And they were clapping and smiling and grinning and carrying on. Yeah, it was fun. We had a wonderful time. Hasidic Jewish females follow strict rules of modesty. Skirts below the knees and sleeves extend past the elbows. When a woman gets married, the rule is that she must always keep her hair covered. This is what I found out.
Oh.
You will be very, very interested in this.
Okay.
Typically, she will wear a wig that resembles her real hair.
Oh.
Oh,
It looks exactly
yeah,
like your hair.
like their hair.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
they will do that. But here's the kick I didn't know. Some will shave their heads bald, which are then covered when they are in public. The reason is that they are taking modesty, comma, parentheses, modesty is another term for guilt/shame, to the most extreme possible. If she has no hair, then it won't be possible for a man to see it. Duh. Now, we were at the event and several people asked us about women and wigs. One young lady asked, did you see my mother? Yeah, we saw her. What wig was she wearing? And we didn't know why she went on like that. What wig was she wearing? Somebody else? What wig has she got on? I didn't understand that until I did all of this research and found out, yeah, just like Muslims, they believe in covering hair. And it's the sight of female hair that's supposed to turn men into raving rapists and beasts. I don't know why. I ain't never been into hair. Butts and legs, yeah, I'm into that. Breasts, yeah, cute faces, that's why I married this woman right here. But no, hair ain't never been a thing for me. Never, never, never. But I guess it takes all types.
Yeah.
Large families are the rule, with 6 to 10 children typical, and some with 12 or more. This is another rule. Reproduce as much as possible. It is considered a top rule, which was commanded directly from God, Yahweh, or Jah. Be fruitful and multiply. Now, unfortunately, what they did not understand is that biology dictates that to have more children, you have to produce more females. And unfortunately, biologically, animals produce more females when they're under stress. When they are not stressed, they produce more males to do work. When they are stressed, they produce more females to bring in more people to be fruitful and multiply, because they're under stress and they need more people because of the stress. That's a problem, because once they got out of Europe, I don't believe these Jews been under too much stress. Most of them are overweight if they're not straight out obese, and they produce, what we saw was a whole lot more boys, a whole lot more males than we saw females.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you're not stressed, that's what's going to end up happening. School has a long time with male teens at school from 8 a.m. in the morning to 8 p.m. in the evening. 12 hours of school, 5 days a week, consisting of Talmudic studies in the morning and early afternoons. Talmud is the first 10 books of the Bible. First 10 books of the Christian Bible. It's called the Pentateuch. Okay. That's what they study in the morning and early afternoons, while late afternoon / evening will consist of secular studies, math, history, science, etc., etc., etc. One of the things they're always talking about is taking care of each other. They are very, very tightly knit, and everybody is responsible for their neighbor. They are really into the thing that Barack Obama pushed when he was running for office, and we were supporting him, about being your brother's keeper. Global Entertainment and Humble G the Fiddler produced a song that has that title and that message. It is indeed called Brother's Keeper. Listen to this. See what you think.
That's the promise of America. The idea that we are responsible for ourselves, but that we also rise or fall as one nation. The fundamental belief that I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. That's the promise we need to keep. That's the change we need right now.
Yeah. Global Entertainment. That's right. Oh sound, baby. Oh sound, baby. Yeah, we got Mick Beats on the 1-2s. What's up, Dougie? Bravo, I got you. Listen. Yeah, now I'ma need you to bite your tongue and just listen to the truth. I'm trying to penetrate your soul with these rhymes of blues. Picture the day, you're not hating me, I'm not hating you. Back when the old heads could talk to the youth, we gotta humble ourselves to find God in ourselves. So we can sell why the true artists stay on the shelf. Ask this question, think we got a little too comfortable. The sins that we commit, we never want to stop and question them. It's like we wear a blindfold in our eyes. That's an immunity to see wrong in these devilish times. We can't seem to get away from this guilt and shame. We fear knowledge, that's why we still act like slaves. I watch my brothers and sisters walk around with no pride. Now bug your fist up and throw your hand high in the sky. To free the people was part of the plan. That's why they trust me. Put this microphone in my hand. Your brother's keeper. Yes, I am. My sister's keeper. Yes, I am. My that one you speak of. Yes, I am. That's why they trust me. Put this microphone in my hand. My sister's keeper. Yes, I am. My brother's keeper. American brothers. Keep on moving up in life. And yeah, I know it's stressing you out. You feel you work the block shift to keep food in your mouth. My single mothers trying to pay the rent for the house. And does your man love you? Having them thoughts of doubt, yo, don't stress it. Let the pain ease from your soul. When are you never too old to accomplish your goals? To my shorties in the street who never had a home, had to learn at an early age to stand on their own. I pray for you and all the struggle that you go through. That's why I'm here on this track, reaching out to you. Learn to see each other as brothers instead of different races. Stop labeling each other by the color of our faces. To free the people is part of the plan. I won't deceive you, that's why I got this mic in my hand. Your brother's keeper. Yes, I am. Am I my sister's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I that one you speak of? Yes, I am. That's why they trust me to put this microphone in my hand. Am I my sister's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. I bet you I can reach ya. Yes, I can. I won't deceive you, that's why I got this mic in my hand. Hey, yo, what's up, fam? Yeah, I'm talking to you. They say you all what you eat with just a spiritual food. For the ear, just manifested. Don't know what I can't get. They call me undereducated, plus I read Revelation. So I'm 10 steps ahead of Satan. This rhyme is food for thought, you can call it meditation. Illustrations of quad being a false seeker. Great preacher, on the mic is here to teach you. The streets call me pain reliever. Your brother's keeper, keeper. Hey, yeah. Now I'ma need y'all to do something for me. You ready? Yeah. Open your eyes and tune your ears so you know what you see and understand what you hear. Your brother's keeper, 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 keeper. Keeper, am I my sister's keeper? Am I that one you speak of? That's why they trust me. They put this microphone in my hand. Am I my sister's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. I bet you I can reach ya. Yes, I can. I won't deceive you. That's why I got this mic in my hand.
All right.
You.
Yeah. Brother's Keeper. Love that song. Hope that you continue to imagine, use your imagination while you're listening to the music as well as listening to the voice of Dr. Kwaku L. Carlisle Woods,
Oh, God.
creator of the Trivalent Understanding, author of The Blessings of Slavery. If you'd like to learn more about Prometheus Reborn Universal Foundation, go to prometheusreborn.com.
Absolutely. Thank you, sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
Like Muslims and other Jews, Saturday is the holy day of the week for these Hasidics. And the agenda is to relax with the family and spend some time worshiping. Work is prohibited and includes driving, cooking, shopping, handling money, or using any electric or electronic device. Mm-hmm. They are not allowed to carry any object outside of their home. This is the reason Hasidic Jews will ask a non-Jewish person to perform basic tasks like turning on a light, air conditioning, etc., etc. Hasidic Jews have more than 8 different holidays called Chag in Hebrew or Yuntif in Yiddish. The major restrictions of Shabbos, that's Sabbath, apply on several of these holidays too, with the single exception being cooking is allowed on holidays even though prohibited on Shabbos. Pesach, also known as the Passover. Pesach. That's an 8-day spring holiday. That's what we were there to celebrate. That's why we were there this past weekend. It's celebrating the Jewish redemption from ancient Kemet. Europeans call Kemet Israel. I'm sorry, they call Kemet Egypt. The main practice is to refrain from consuming only wheat, any wheat, I should say, any wheat and wheat-based products. I didn't know that until I read this review that I got from Google. That the main thing about
Hey Dee, we're so happy that you're
You love
got
the
a chance
picture.
to see the
You
picture.
you love that.
Dear daughter.
Oh, believe me, I love wearing it. But this major restriction of Shabbat, Pesach, is to stop from consuming any wheat and wheat-based products. Wow. They must perform an exhaustive cleaning of their home to remove every single crumb of bread or wheat-based food. This is to commemorate the fact that God, Yahweh, hurried Jews out of Kemet so fast that the bread they were preparing to eat never had got a chance for the leavening to rise and become bread. Instead, the bread baked in the hot sun and wound up as a thin loaf called matzah. There we even got the matzah.
Tables, yeah.
The rule on the Pesach is that matzah is used as a substitute for bread or any wheat-based product. There are 2 long feasts in the Pesach, and boy, we didn't get a chance because we only eat once a day, and we eat generally about 7, 8, 9 at night. But boy, we made a plate. You know we made a plate. Come on now. We Alkebulanese. We can't go no place without making a plate. They made us 2 plates, and we took them home and ate them later that evening. They were great! Oh my God, the beef was grass-fed, according to my wife, because it was so magnificent.
You could tell it was prayed over. You could tell
Yes.
it was grained. Long. What do they call that?
Grass-fed.
Range. Yeah, grass-fed.
Uh-huh.
It was wonderful.
It was. Each is called a seder. The name Passover comes from the fact that the angel of death passed over the homes of Jews, which had lamb's blood over the doorway and on the lintel, to kill the firstborn of every Kemetan household. Every child of Kemet on that night, the night of Passover, who was the firstborn, was killed. Only in the houses of Israel, where they had the blood on the lintel and the door jamb, did the angel of death pass over though.
Yeah.
Finally, I read some of a booklet called Makif that is published by the editors of Z-Man in New York. Its introduction in the June 2020 issue, and that's what this is, the 2020 issue, talks about the world of Shikar. This reality is called Shikar. Being so sensual that discovering truth is fraught with so much danger that truth should never be broadcast to the general public. Truth should never be broadcast to the general public?
Like Trump.
Yeah. Well, we get to that in just a minute. Talks about so much that you never broadcast to the general public. Great. This book, Makif, discusses the fact that truth made public is exposed to discussion, debate, criticism, and even anger. And I find, what's wrong with that? All discussion is exposed to that. Anything that comes out of your mouth is exposed to that. I don't understand why truth should be singled out as not being able to be discussed in public. They are also taught, according to the Meragim, that presenting facts in public, exposing the topic of entering Eretz Yisrael to debate and ultimately to despair. Why would talking about being Israeli, exposing the topic of entering Eretz Yisrael to debate would lead to despair? I don't understand how discussing truth is bad. How can truth lead to despair unless you are not living that truth? How can discussing truth lead to despair unless you're not in line with that truth? If you are in line with any truth, discussing enables you, empowers you, lifts you up. Because you are living that truth. I don't understand that.
That's a way to give yourself grace.
Yes.
And being honest with yourself and others. Yeah.
Yeah. Talk the truth.
Yes.
Speak the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Be the truth.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand at all. Lastly, everyone there seemed to shy away from discussing or even mentioning politics. Now, a picture of line 44.5 is on the cover of the Monkey magazine. That's the magazine. And you notice that it has on there fake news. The whole issue is about fake news. That's why the introduction was about truth. Now, there seems to be an unspoken support by these people that I really, really enjoy and I really, really like.
Yes, we did.
But there seems to be an unspoken support for a proven liar. If I'm not mistaken, how many thousands of lies did they document before he left office? Almost 4,000. So 4 years, 4,000 lies. That means 1,000 lies a year. That's approximately 3 point some odd lies a day. Every day for 4 years. Proven lie who states that neo-Nazis in Charlottesville who marched saying Jews will not replace us, Jews will not replace us, Jews will not replace us. You remember that?
Yeah.
He said they were very fine people. And yet, this particular group of Hasidic Jewry seem to have unwavering support for line 44.5. I don't understand that. Do they not remember the statements and actions that led to 6 to 8 million Jews being killed? If anyone has any insights into this situation, please contact me at voiceradio.com or Prometheus Reborn. I need to find out what world they're living in. Because in the world that I live in, I would not support somebody who has a history of killing for no reason, supporting those who killed my people. That just ain't the world I live in. But Shelly Kay gives an expose with the Hip Hope Trio Plus on that very subject in this song that's coming up called This Is the World We Live In.
Yes.
There you go. Where I live in.
This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. This is the world we live in.
cause I really can get it. What would you do if you really knew you? We're on a mission.
Teaching you to listen.
Make images of what you hear.
Listening to spirit.
Not mind.
It hears and forgot what I feel.
Not near.
To the power of you release.
Yes, this is the world we live in, and you can choose to transcend it. We are offering a free introduction to the Trivalent Understanding Noetic created by Dr. Kwaku L. Carlisle Woods. You can call us at 216-375-2742. Again, 216-375-2742.
Okay. One of the last things we did at the Passover was to introduce to several leaders of this community insights into the trivalent understanding noetics. We taught them vector augmentation. Believe it or not, Jacob was the first person that I taught vector augmentation to. And soon as he got vectored, he got to jumping and running and carrying on. Yeah, I got lots more energy. You're right, Doc. I got lots more energy. And he went tearing through the day and telling everybody, "Oh, you don't need to let Doc show you this thing that he does with your feet and legs. It changes you." Within maybe 10, 15 minutes, I had taught about 2 or 3 others. And then I was allowed to speak to their head Reb. In the dining room, I held a brief class on the trivalent understanding noetics, specifically teaching them vector augmentation. I did not get a chance to tell them that a human being is composed of 3 basic parts. A material portion that's called a body, an immaterial portion that is called a spirit, and a partially material, partially immaterial portion that is called a mind. These are the things that I got nominated for the $10 million X Prize in Innovation for. That allowed me to go to the Incentive to Innovation Conference at UN headquarters in New York. I did not get a chance to tell them that nobody teaches you how to operate your spirit, your mind, and your body. I should have had that song up next. That should be the last song. Can't Get.
All right.
Can we change that last song to Can't Get? Yeah. Okay. And I'm saying that because that was the experience of my living. As a child, I understood that I needed to find out how human beings work. I'm less than a month old when my Aunt Sarah picked me up out the crib and held me up and started talking, and I'm listening to her talk and watching her lips move, and I'm thinking to myself, why is she doing that? How is she doing that? I need to find this out. I need to understand all of these things so that I can teach people. And I remember thinking that, as I said, as an infant, less than a month old. But that continued throughout the whole of my living. As a child, going to elementary school, I was waiting for somebody to teach me how human beings function. They never did. Though they did give me some basic building blocks on anatomy of human beings, how are human beings structured, nobody talked to me about functioning, how they worked. I thought, well, I'll maybe do it in high school. They'll teach me that there. Nope. Didn't happen in high school. I said, well, then you got to probably get it in college. Maybe that's why everybody's paying all this money to go to college. Because there, they'll teach you how human beings function. No. I was disappointed there too. They didn't teach you that in nursing school. They didn't teach you that in medical school. They didn't teach you that in any of the places where I went to got graduate or undergraduate or graduate degrees. I got a degree in biology, I got a degree in psychology. Nowhere did they tell me how human beings function.
And I have more than one degree in education. They did not.
Yeah. Not through medical school, not through internship, not through residency, still at this point in time. There is no place where they will teach you how to operate your spirit, your mind, and your body. I finally ended up having to create it, or really recreate it, from the vestiges left by ancestors about 9,000 years ago. Kemet came up in 7.
We're going to give a shout out to Shalina Brown.
Shalina!
That's one
What
of our
up?
younger sisters. So we're so happy that you're viewing
Shalina!
us right now.
Yeah.
Love.
Peace. Yes, indeed. That's family, y'all. So, I took Book of Coming Forth by Day and by Night, also called the Metu Neter, and amongst a whole bunch of other Kemetan writings, mixed that with the Akan spirituality that Dr. Quad David Whitaker taught at the Alche Cultural Center, and used those as a basis for creating the trivalent understanding noetics. That's what I did, and I wrote about my disappointment in this song that we're about to let you listen to now, called Can't Get, because I couldn't get what I was looking to get. Now, that'll be the last thing that we do. And in closing, because it's the last thing we do, we always want to wish you, in closing, peace, which stands for proper education. Always corrects error. Listen to Can't Get. See if you can get it. When you're going through this thing called life, you're going to have a great number of opportunities, and you're going to have some challenges. In those opportunities and those challenges, you may not be able to get everything that you want, but you should always try to get what you need.
Can't always get what you want. Can't always get what you want. Can't always get what you want.
But if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. We're all here for the celebration, trying to find out my own creation, how to learn from my imagination, finding truth, my own liberation. You can't always get what you want. Finally, I thought I tried this to me. Understanding, no head taught me the way I say no fooling. Now believe what you want, it's your decision. But I know the way without collision. 'Cause you can't always be. No, 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 no. Sometimes it is way. You sometimes can't get it another way, but you can. Sometimes get what you need. You get what you need. You get what you need.
Oh, you made it to the end of the video. Well, I am tired a little bit differently. I'm dressed as Baba Amwa. If you would like more of your own understanding, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And go to the sites that we have listed around us. The Most High is good.
And the ancestors are kind
Thanks
for having us on your minds.
Peace.